Hi, I'm Jasmine, the sequel, and I am not relatable. A special thank you to my patrons, Wild Rose, Lauren Chris, That British Unicorn, Jam Beans, Debbie Elliott, and D. Higgins. So, today we are doing another Retro React. Yay! This Retro React in particular is her huge 6-cheese pizza Retro React, and she's eating like, I think it's a Little Caesars pizza. So let's get right into it, and I'll give you my thoughts. The way I think I'm going to structure this is that she does a lot of like short, personal kind of like TMI kind of stories. And so I'm going to play you the relevant clips from each one of the TMI stories, and then I'll give you my opinion at the end of it.
Jeez. This woman on the wig cap package couldn't possibly look any more forced to look happy. Alright. Ranch. Steven Sushi Ranch, of course. And Domino's 6-cheese pizza. 6 cheese. Not 4. Not 5. Not 5.5. 6.
Ah, yes, that's what her stomach needs. 6 types of diarrhea. If you guys are new here and have somehow missed all of Chantel's other content, and this is the first video you've landed on, she doesn't have a gallbladder. She's eating, oh my God, so much fat. So much fat. And God only knows what she's used to make that Steven Sushi ranch dressing dip thing. I don't know. I should have looked it up. I'll see if I can look it up and put a little like clip or something on the side here saying what you actually need to make that Steven Sushi like ranch dressing. I don't like ranch as a whole. I think ranch is pretty disgusting, but I don't like a lot of dressing, so that's not special. Either way, she's got this huge bowl right next to her that's also going to be full of fat. And then she's got this pizza that's got 6 types of cheeses on it that's also going to be very fatty. And she's going to eat this with no gallbladder. Like, I feel bad for her plumbing. Like, both her internal plumbing and then her house's plumbing.
6. There's a reason that 6 sounds like sex. Okay, let's give thanks for this beautiful food, and let's get to. I have some embarrassing. I'm going to embarrass myself on the internet today for money. So
she makes this comment about this, you know, like embarrassing herself for money this time or something like that. I'm like, that's every time you eat. Every time you eat, especially recently, it's all been like farts and burps and disgustingness. So it's like, how is this different, ma'am?
And this is, you know, I love Cheetos, okay? I love Cheetos. I'm like Big Chub, except human version. I love Cheetos. And, you know, I sometimes just pig out on Cheetos, and let's just face it. A lot of stuff that I eat gets trapped in my bra, okay? In my boobs. And it gets found later when the bra comes off. But my bra and my boobs seem to particularly have a taste for Cheetos, just like Big Chub. One time, I was eating Cheetos. It's important to note, I like to wear bras that, you know, make my boobs look like grapefruits instead of flapjacks or fried eggs. So I like them to wear them about a couple sizes too tight. So it constricts everything, you know. Doesn't matter what boyfriend I've had or partner I've had at the time. Whenever it's time to get down, and it's time for this to come off, the bra to come off, because it's so tightly on there and things are so contained under pressure. When the last buckle comes off, it's like a springboard, and poof, and the Cheetos, pew, right in the face.
So I know I'm pretty certain that these stories are at least wildly exaggerated, and if they're not outright fabrications. But if this is true, if there's some like crumbles of truth in here, these are the 2 things that I think are important to take away from here. One, she has very poor hygiene, because I cannot imagine a time in which I dropped food into my bra and then didn't immediately take it out. First of all, very rarely happens to me. Not one of the issues I have. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. It's not an issue for me. Also, I tend to wear stuff that comes up pretty high, so like it doesn't really happen all that often. Either way, it got kind of sidetracked. What I was trying to say was that if I did drop something into my bra, I would immediately take it out. So the fact that she didn't immediately take it out speaks to like just her poor hygiene. And like, I can understand maybe you do take it out, like, and you like just brush everything out and you remove your bra and you might have missed like a couple of crumbs, but nobody misses like an entire Cheeto. Okay? That's kind of gross. Second thing is, how did she not feel uncomfortable? That just sounds so darn uncomfortable. It just sounds like it would just sit there and poke and prod. And the only thing I can think of is that she doesn't have any sensitivity there. Now, she's saying that she wears a bra that like really kind of, you know, zhuzhes up the girls, as it were. But like, if she's doing that, then she might have lost sensitivity. It might be a little bit numb there. But putting a whole Cheeto in there is a different kind of pain. Even like a push-up bra, like the most extreme of the push-up bras, are designed to do this comfortably. Like, this must have been a very like itchy, gross kind of a feeling. And the fact that she just ignores it speaks to either A, or really all of the above, but sorry, A, that this happens to her on a regular enough basis that she doesn't notice Cheetos down there. B, that she has very like she has a lot of like sensitivity issues, which can actually, I think, is a sign of diabetes, though it generally happens in your extremities first. Or C, all of the above. It could be all of the above.
For work, I was asked to go to a conference and like a few hours away in Ontario, and with my boss. And I was like, sure, you know, this is a great opportunity, but I don't remember what it was about, but it sounded boring. And I'm not a morning person, so bad combination, right? To go to a boring conference and be super tired. We stayed in a hotel. The conference would start super early in the morning. And the good part was that there was like good buffets. There was a lot of good food. Anyway, there was a guest speaker, and we were sitting at the far back, and it was like in a little corner, you know. It was nice and air conditioned on a hot summer day. I was tired. And you know, whenever you're like in class and you just like cannot force yourself to stay awake no matter what you do, it's like, and you're like nodding off. We used to have a math teacher that used to kick our desk really hard, scare the crap out of us when that happened. He would be talking about integers and then kick your desk and then keep talking. Anyway, he was nuts. I loved him. So anyway, this conference, I ended up falling asleep during the guest speaker, and I was snoring. Nobody woke me up. They just let me do my thing, and you know, got some very well-deserved dirty looks when I did come to, but nobody woke me up. I woke myself up by going ooh, and started clapping because I thought the guest speaker was over, I guess. I don't know why I started clapping, but it was super embarrassing. The guest speaker was even like, oh, I was mortified. She's like, wow, I'd like to think I'm not that boring. And then a few people chuckled.
I don't know if this is real or not. On the one hand, I kind of want to say that the story about her being like, yeah, go to this conference for us, seems a little fake. On the other hand, the idea that Chantal would fall asleep during an actual like conference is not entirely surprising to me. If you guys are aware of Chantal's history with working a non-YouTube job from my understanding, she was a pretty shit employee. Like, she called in sick a lot. She didn't want to do a lot of her responsibilities. There's like a whole lawsuit thing. Once more, highly recommend watching Toad McKinley's video on the Canadian Horror Story. I think he covers it a lot better, more eloquently, and more thoroughly than I can. And also, I'm forgetting things right now. So I would recommend you go watch that. But she's definitely had a very checkered history when it comes to employment. So yeah, it would make sense to me that she would go all the way there and then she would sit through a conference and fall asleep. That being said, I have maybe kind of done this once myself, but like only kind of. So at one of my jobs before this, what I do now, we had a reoccurring meeting that would happen right after lunch. And I'd literally told my boss, who was awesome, still is awesome, he's like alive, he hasn't died, that if you have a meeting like right after lunch, I'm like in full on food coma territory. Please keep a meeting at any other time. But it was the only time that worked. And so most of the time we'd get into this meeting. It was like a small group, like just our core like people. And it was small, and he understood I was like a little bit more low energy. It's fine. But one day we had like my grand boss there, and I swear to God, I was like this close to like nodding off. I was just sitting there the whole time like, and it was like the worst meeting. And I like, it would have been so bad if I'd fallen asleep during a meeting where my grand boss was there. Cause it's like one thing if you make yourself look bad, but it's like another thing if you make your like boss, your employer look bad, because then it's like, especially if they're a good person, right? Like my boss is a good person. So I didn't want to like make him look bad in front of his boss when really this is not his fault at all, other than the scheduling a meeting at a time that didn't suit my particular internal schedule well.
One fine afternoon, I was in the middle of an boxed instant urban garlic instant mashed potatoes by Betty Crocker binge. I think I had like 2 boxes. I was in the middle of stuffing those babies in when I get a call from my French lover, okay? And normally, I would be super excited to hear from him. Except that I had just eaten large amounts of food, and he has a very small bathroom. And to top it off, I couldn't stand hanging out with him unless I was tipsy or drunk. So I chased those taters with cheap vodka. Now, when I say small bathroom, he lived in like a crappy bachelor apartment. It was like a crappy area, crappy apartment. So tiny. His bathroom was like tiny. Like the sides of my butt were touching the sink and the tub. That's how small it was. And the door didn't close all the way. It had like a hook, but like the door stayed open a bit. Had no fan. So you would hear, and it was like, the bathroom was here. The living room was right there. So, I mean, and he didn't have a TV. So there's nothing to muffle the noise of bubble guts. So I had to go really, really bad. Like, he was like making moves and I'm like, oh man, I can't. I'm gonna like, I'm gonna like fart in your face or something. So I go to the bathroom. I'm like, maybe if I like just let it out a little bit at a time, that won't be noisy. No, it was noisy. It was very noisy, and I was so embarrassed. I wanted to cry, and I was so embarrassed. And the fact that I was embarrassed, like, he was, like, much older than me, and he thought that, like, it was immature for me to be embarrassed about it, because he was like, you far. So what, you far? And he didn't say fart, because he was French, I don't know. He said, you far. I said fart weird. You far. So what? You let it go. You don't talk about it. It's okay. It's body. It's your body.
All right. So a couple of things about her French lover. She's mentioned her French lover before, and my understanding of it was that he was a not very kind man. First of all, he was like 36 when Chantal was like 16. So giving me major, I'm not going to say it, but let's just say it rhymes with Ditto. All right. So they're giving me real, like, off-putting vibes as it is. Even if it's legal, being with somebody who's that much younger has always struck me as being very odd, because there's an inherent power dynamic, like a difference in power that each individual will have in that relationship when one is so much older than the other, especially when that age difference happens with somebody who's not yet done developing, right? Science shows us that you generally are done developing around the age of 25. That's when your full, like, frontal cortex is pretty much fully developed. And so if you're in a relationship before then, and you're with somebody who has had all of that time to, like, be fully developed and set as an individual while you're still trying to figure your shit out, it can lead to a very sticky situation. And generally the feeling that it gives me is that if somebody is going out of their way to be with people who are like that, who are very young and who are not yet done developing, I don't know. They come off as sleazy to me. Still, this guy was with Chantel when she was 16 and he was 36, and he made her feel like shit about her weight. There is a lot of reasons that you can go after Chantel, but belittling the way that she looks is not nice, right? I tend to fall into the the category of thought that if you can't fix something about somebody in 5 minutes when it comes to their appearance, just don't mention it, because it's not going to help you. Right? I try my best not to make any kind of comments about her not looking nice or her not, looking attractive or anything like that. Most of my comments, if they are about her appearance, is how she can enhance one thing or another, mostly in her fashion hauls. I talk about her health, and I think that that's a fair thing to say, but not about the way that she looks. And especially that should not come from a lover, right? You have no authority to be telling her how she should and should not look. If you don't want to be with her, then don't be with her. Just leave. But don't, mock her weight. I don't know. Especially when she's that young, it just seems like such a dick move. It makes me feel very uncomfortable, and it makes me feel bad for her. All that is to say that if she broke his plumbing, I could not give less of a shit. Pun intended.
All right, last one. Oh, I forgot to show you some pictures of me as a kid that my mom sent me. So here's pictures of my sister. Such a cutie. Oh my god. Then me and my sister. And then me. And I was like 11 or 12. I think I was 12 at this age. Anyway, so final one for now is I remember I was in this like phase where I loved Rammstein. Okay. I was like obsessed with Rammstein. And I was hanging out at this time with my biggest crush ever, like in school. I think it was like senior year of elementary. And I don't think he liked me that way, but don't ever hang out with a guy that you like and try to be one of the boys just because you want to be around them, because they will treat you like one of the boys. And this one time, like, this guy would like twist my arm and be rough, and I used to like hang around him just like, he skateboarded. He was a skater boy. He said, "See you later, boy," like a skater boy. And I wanted to be so much like a skater chick, like a cool skater chick, that I pretended like I was a poser. They called them posers. I was a poser. I didn't want to be a poser, but I was. And then, I kept saying, oh, like I lied to him and said like, I can skateboard and all this and that. And he kept like, when are you getting your skateboard? Blah, blah, blah. I couldn't skate for the life of me. I couldn't even stand on one without killing myself. So I was a poser. I wanted to buy a skateboard just to carry it around to like look cool. I bought skater shoes. I had one of those chains. I listened to Weezer. Is it called Airwalks? Those shoes. Anyway, so one day this is another embarrassing part of it. This is not the story, but one day he was just like, Chantel, I know you're a poser. It's okay. I know you can't skate. Anyway, I would get ready in the morning for school or whatever. This one day I think I was getting ready for school. It was early morning. I was in my bathroom, and my room was in the basement at my mom's. I was getting ready in the mirror, putting my thick black eyeliner on. and I was singing, like I had my earphones on so I couldn't really hear anything, blaring Rammstein, Du hast mich gefragt, du hast mich gefragt. All of a sudden in the mirror in back of me, I see my friend, the guy, and he's laughing at me. I scream because he startled me, and from being mortified, take off the earphones. He's like, "What are you doing, dickhead?" I was pretty embarrassed.
Being found out as a poser. In the pictures that she shows, I'm not entirely sure how much she weighs. It's hard for me to judge, and I'm a pretty poor judge of that stuff as it is. But my understanding is that Chantel's never really been a very normal weight. So if she was already obese, it would not be that like large stretch of imagination for somebody to look at her and be like, you are very unhealthy. I don't think you could get on a skateboard and do these things, you know? So I don't know. Side note, did everybody have a goth phase when they were in like high school? Because I swear to God, there was like 3 months when I was in high school where I was super into Rammstein too. Rammstein? My cousin was really into them and he played some of their music and I like really liked it. I generally tend to like most music. I think even country, I know people don't like it, but the Chicks, for example, are a good, really good like country music band. I like them. They're cute and I like a lot of their music. Formerly known as the Dixie Chicks. If you don't know the story for that, I recommend looking up why they became just the Chicks from the Dixie Chicks. Very interesting. But, you know, I had this whole phase where I got really, really into Rammstein and like a few other like really like hardcore heavy metal bands. But I don't know if like that was just something that everybody did or if it's like a particular fat girl thing to do in high school. Let me know. If you were a non-fat girl in high school, did you go through a goth phase and were you also really in love with Rammstein? Like Du hast in particular? Put it down below. I really want to know. Okay, that will be it for the retro react for me. I still feel bad for her stomach. And BB coming in to take a slice but not really saying anything about her weird eating habits just goes to show like how empty their relationship was towards the end. This is post breakup, but still, like if he cared about her, I feel like he would have said something. And she's been doing this for such a long time. He never once bothered to mention anything about her losing weight, trying to be healthier, trying to eat better, nothing. It's like he checked out of the relationship mentally, which is, it's sad. Another thing I really want to say is she's giving Steven Sushi a lot of free promotion on her channel. It's pretty cheap for him, probably just to send her like a couple packets of seasoning, like for the ranch. And she'll like just put it on camera and like talk about it endlessly. If I was him and if I was like any one of the other mukbangers and you wanted free promotion to her audience, this would be the way to do it. Chantel will hawk just about anything if you'll send her a little bit of it. I mean, those pickles are a great example, for example. I said, great example, and then for example. English is not my strong suit. Anyway, that will be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a like, a thumbs up if you like this video. Give me a thumbs down if you hated it. That's totally okay. I respect everybody's opinion. Leave me a comment down below if there's something you'd like me to really, really know. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Hit the notification bell and click all if you want to know when I upload all my videos. Share with your friends, put it on Twitter, shout me out if you want to save me from the horrors of the YouTube algorithm. You don't have to, but, it would help me, and it's free, why not? I have all my social medias linked down below. I've got Twitter, where I am occasionally toxic and a little bit petty, and I have all like my channel updates up on there. And also that's like the easiest way to reach me if you want to tell me something and you're like, I want to put it in like a private message. That or I have like an email listed down below too. I guess you could just reach me there. I've got Instagram. That's where I put all of my food and general life stuff. I don't really have a lot of life stuff right now because it's still the pandemic, so I don't go anywhere or do anything. But I am a decent cook, so if you're interested in that, that's where you'll find it. I also have Patreon. Think of Patreon as the tip jar for the internet. So if you like the job that I'm doing here and you'd like me to continue and you want to toss a few coins in my direction, that's where you can do it. I would really appreciate it. There's a bunch of perks that you can get just by being, one of my Patreon members. You can check all of that out in the link down below. All of your money will go directly towards buying me more mascara. In particular, this mascara. This is the Essence Mascara. It is $3 whole. Every $3 donation you make means one more mascara in my mascara collection. Think about it. It's an important fund. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jasmine, the sequel, and I am not relatable. Peace